Recently, I've published an online full training course on Cloudflare Workers. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the questions that were asked by the students. In this video, we're going to cover Miniflare, a simulator for local development and testing your Cloudflare Workers. We'll see how it compares to the Wrangler CLI and what benefits it brings. Things that are not even possible with the Wrangler CLI that you will be able to do in the usage of Miniflare. So join me and let's see what we have ahead. So be sure to hit the subscribe button below, smash that like button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. Now let's just go ahead and we're going to install the dependency first. We're going to install it globally because this is going to work like the CLI. So we're going to do with npm or yarn, pnp, whatever it is that you're using, we're going to install it globally. The process will take a few seconds. Then we're going to create a new project. In my case, I'm going to make it pasteboard. We're going to see that in a future video. And I'm going to just create an index.js. I'm going to create a very simple, straightforward minimum event listener. Kind of like we do with everything, and just providing a fake response, something just to test out Miniflare. Now we're going to run locally Miniflare index.js, and we'll see that it stands a server running on port 8787. And if you do that, here you got the response, hello Miniflare, just like that. For the next step, we're going to leverage yarn installed globally to set up a new project. We're going to do yarn init to set up the basic package.json. And we're going to add two dependencies. One is the ES-build, which will help us create the bundle. And then we're going to use Miniflare to basically simulate the environment. Let's open the package.json. And if we zoom in, you'll see right now it says that the main file is index.js. We're going to change that to point to the dist folder. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We'll add two tasks to the scripts. One is going to be to build, where we will leverage ES-build library. We'll create the bundle, generate a source map, and then we're going to set up the output directory to the dist folder. And we're going to make it the source file, an index.js that we're about to create. The other one is going to be kind of like a dev mode. And we're going to use Miniflare to watch constantly, to live reload, and also to attach the debug listener to it. Finally, like we have done before with workers, we need the Wrangler toml file, which we'll create now. And I'm going to copy paste an example that it's already formed. No big surprises on this one if you have done the training before. So it's basically we're using JavaScript. We didn't specify the account ID, but we do have the key value namespaces. So pay attention to this. This is particular to this video. We're going to be using the key values that we can simulate the key value database or storage that we can use. We can simulate locally, which is something that we haven't done in the past with Wrangler CI because it's not that easy. So you'll see that in a minute. In addition, we're going to install the toml extension in VS Code just to make it a little bit better, a little bit prettier when we're looking at these files. So now let's go ahead, create a source folder. I'm going to create two files, the request.js, and this is the one that's going to do our logic, and the index.js, where we are going to add our event listener. We'll start on this last one. This is going to be a common add event listener, typical Cloudflare Worker entry point that it's going to just basically delegate to our handle request method that it's going to be exposed or exported by our request.js file. So we have that. Let's make sure we import the handle request method. And now we can move to the other file. We go to the next one. And there's going to be a little bit of logic, but you will see what we're doing. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to basically take the URL path name So /a/b, whatever it is that you pass as a path name. And we're going to retrieve the value associated to that key from our key v namespace. Remember the storage, the database that we can have on the edge. In this case, it's called counter namespace because we're going to store counter numbers associated to the URL as a key. So in this line, we try to get the current value. Then we're going to create a new one. We're going to say that the new value is going to be either 0 or we're going to increment by 1, whatever is the existing one. And finally, we're going to store the new value back to the key v namespace. So we're going to put it back using the same key and passing the new value. And basically, we're going to return the new response with the new value. Minor fix there, parenthesis misplaced. That would have been a weird output. So now let's go ahead and run it. All right, we have the server running name port 8787. And as we hit the URL several times, you will see it's the same path name. And so the counter keeps being incremented. But if we stop the server and run it again, let's see what happens. So it basically starts from scratch. Our local simulation will start again for scratch. But there is something that we can do about it. If we go to our Wrangler TOML file, we can actually persist our data. Okay, and this is just as easy as adding a Miniflare section and then say kv persist true. Okay, now let's run it again. Go again to our browser and port 8787. And then we're going to use the same path name. We're going to run it a few times. It finishes at 5. Stop the server, start it again. Okay, let's change the path name, B, to start from scratch on a different one. And then let's go back to A, and you will see now we have 6. So it's moving from 5, which was our previous instance running. Okay. If you go to your project, you will see that you have a .mf folder where you actually have the data inside, how it's being persisted. And this is something that we can actually customize. We don't have to take the default location for it. We can actually say it's going to be stored in .data folder. So we don't need the kv persist equal true. Now we need to add the location for it. Now if you add a location, it means that it's true. So let's run again our server. Yeah. And if you play a few times, and then you can see now you have a data folder where you're getting all your data to be persisted. There's a third option, which is you can point to a local Redis instance. So you have the default location, specify a location for data, or you have the Redis instance as well. So there we go. This is one of the questions asked. So now over to you. Comment below, let me know any thoughts, questions you have around Cloudflare Workers. If you're interested in learning how to build and deploy workers from scratch all the way to production, you don't want to miss out on my full training, a set of 44 videos guiding you step by step. Click the link on the description, and if you subscribed and liked the video, add a comment and I will issue a promo code of 50% discount for you.